Hiya, my name's Savannah Marshall and you're watching Sport and Icons.
Okay, so September the 10th at the O2 Arena, Claressa Shields versus Savannah Marshall for the undisputed middleweight world championship. Now, this will be a all-female card. So if you're a women's boxing fan, fantastic. Now, already confirmed for this card will be in the super featherweight division, unified belts, all the belts, minus the WBA, will be Michaela Mayer versus Alicia Baumgardner. That's a very exciting fight. Now, who else is going to be on this card? I'm sure April Hunter's going to be on there. Obviously, she trains alongside Savannah Marshall with Peter Fury, which I absolutely love that setup. I really do. April is a good friend of mine. I absolutely love April. Of course, I love Savannah and that as well. But with obviously the likes of Michael being there, Hughie Fury being there, maybe another addition, which I shall certainly keep stum about at some point. But anyway, I have to wait and see. I absolutely love that setup. Now, this particular fight, how do I see it? I see this as not puncher versus boxer. And I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to be billed. In fact, the press conference is due to start any moment now. But I'm pretty sure that this is going to be billed as puncher versus boxer, which I wholeheartedly disagree with. One simple reason. When's the last time you've seen Savannah Marshall lose a round? You don't, because she's an exceptional boxer as well. And she punches like a mule kicks. But likewise with Claressa Shields. Now, even though that they're both 12-0, Savannah Marshall, out of her 12 wins, she's knocked out 10 opponents. Quite spectacular at times, of course. Claressa Shields, out of her 12 wins, only 2 of those by knockout. So that's probably why they're going to bill it as a puncher versus boxer. But Claressa can punch. She can punch. It's just that she opts to secure the rounds. That's what she does. She's a pure boxer in mind and heart, but she can punch. So Savannah's going to have to be very, very careful in this one. She really is. But for me, this is not boxer versus puncher. This is boxer versus boxer, puncher versus bigger puncher. That's how I honestly see it. Now, going forward though, how do I see this event? How do I see this whole fight night setting? Now, originally it was supposed to have been in Newcastle. That would have been, I mean, had they put that on at the Newcastle Arena, that was a shoo-in to sell out. Absolutely no doubt, which is why they were looking at potentially St James's Park. St James's Park, of course, is 57,000 all-seater, the Newcastle United Football Stadium, plus however many they're going to put on the pitch. Yes, it would have been a tall order to sell that place out, but with a couple of manoeuvres here and there, they could have done it. Okay, but obviously with Savannah, with her having surgery, obviously that postponed this particular fight, which meant that the football season was going to kick off again, because originally the fight was meant to be happening at some point in late June, early July. Obviously the football season will be kicking off real soon, so obviously the stadium isn't really going to be available. But which is why they're going to go to London, or at least one of the reasons. Obviously last time that Savannah fought, where she absolutely destroyed Herman, she really did. I was there ringside for it. Savannah looked absolutely fantastic. Which, by the way, I mean, considering that to Savannah, she's what, 30 years old, 31 years old, something like that? It baffles me. It really does. It's like she's still in her early to mid-20s. It really is, with the way she looks and how she moves and that as well. Absolutely fantastic. And, of course, my wife loves her as well because, you know, both of them are into that whole murder mystery kind of stuff and whatever else, serial killers. Now, this fight, I'm really looking forward to. I really am. Now, the fact that it's going to be at the London O2 Arena, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to sell. Obviously, the fan base for Savannah is in the Northeast. Obviously, she's from Hartlepool and whatever. And obviously, the fan base for Claressa is in the United States of America. But at the same time, of course, both of these are well known up and down the United Kingdom, and Savannah has a huge fan base. She really does. So selling tickets hopefully won't be too much of a problem. It really won't. But I love this fight. I really do. And my prediction for this fight is Savannah Marshall to win on points. Now, am I being a little biased on that one? Maybe. Now, of course, most people may say, well, Claressa on points or Savannah by knockout. Hey, you might be right. But I think on this one, and the reason why I say Savannah on points is that I do expect her to potentially drop Claressa on a couple of occasions. I do. But I think the difference, and no disrespect to any of the opponents that Savannah's fought, because, again, I think that Savannah and Claressa have fought very, very similar level opponents. I do. But whereas Claressa, she's beating them on points and Savannah is knocking them out, it's just that I think that some of them, they feel the power very, very early on from Savannah. The fact that she's awkward, she's very difficult to hit, she doesn't lose rounds, and when she lands, they know about it. It really, really hurts them. And I think that some of these women are like, I don't want to be taking any more of this because if I continue, I'm going to get legitimately knocked out cold. Okay? So I think some of them are like, you know what? I'm just going to stay down. The difference with Claressa is that Claressa has that winner's mentality. Does that make sense? Where it will literally take her to be knocked out cold for her to not get back up again. That would be the biggest difference for this one. So I do fully expect Savannah to potentially knock down Claressa Shields, because again, we've seen Claressa Shields knocked down in that before. So I do expect her to get knocked down in this fight, but maybe get back up. If she doesn't get back up, it's because she's legitimately knocked out. Or she's really struggling to get to her feet because her senses ain't there, and the referee could put a stop to it. But as I said before, it was meant to be in Newcastle, and one of the reasons was because last time Savannah fought, which I think I started to say, but then my mind takes me elsewhere, is that Claressa said she didn't want to fight Savannah in Newcastle. One of the reasons being is because when Savannah fought, obviously Claressa was there. In fact, I let her in through the gate to get through. But the crowd were jeering her. They were booing her. They were heckling her. They were just having a bit of fun with her. And I think Claressa took that to heart. That it wasn't just jeering and messing about, because ultimately that's what it was. Listen, they don't hate Claressa. Of course they don't. But they're going to be Team Marshall, much like I am too. So I think maybe she took that to heart and said, I'm not going to fight in Newcastle, which is probably why this particular arena in London is booked. Now, it being an all-women's card as well, that's really going to test the waters to see how well women's boxing is. So with the addition, of course, of Michaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgarten, which is a fantastic fight, April Hunter, of course, I would imagine is going to be on this card. In fact, I'm pretty sure that she is. I would imagine that we could well see the likes of Tasha Jonas on this card, and maybe Georgia O'Connor on this card, and others. Okay, it's a box that have some fantastic women. Obviously, you've got the two Olympians, Lauren Price and Karis Artingstall, and whatever else. Their stable of women's fighters is pretty spectacular. It really is. It's enough to pretty much rival what it is that Matchroom has. I mean, considering that boxer started off only, 10, 11 months ago with no fighters whatsoever. Now look at their stable. Absolutely phenomenal. So anyway, this fight, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I'm Team Marshall. I want Savannah Marshall to win. I believe that she's going to win. Wholeheartedly, I believe it. But listen, nothing will surprise me. Claressa Shields is a multi-weight world champion, undisputed, and all that kind of trimming to go with it, with her amateur career of winning 2 Olympic gold medals and all that kind of thing. You can't write her off at all. You really can't. You really can't. Now, had this fight happened a couple of years ago, I'd have probably favoured Claressa Shields, because at this point, I think that Savannah was maybe struggling with a little bit of a stage fright, if that's the right way to put it. Now, very, very confident. Very confident. She loves the crowd. She loves performing. And now is the right time for Savannah Marshall to take this fight. Anyway, listen, that's my thoughts. Of course, we'll break it down a little bit more as the fight draws a little bit closer. You all drop your thoughts below. Quick thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.